Receive your questions at Dynamic Sports today on Facebook. Drop a line on Dynamic Weekly Sports Show. Sit back, relax, and groove by Dynamic Drop Sports in your earhole. Now, here's Dynamic David Coleman.
You're looking live. Good afternoon. I'm Dynamic Dave. I'm here every Thursday afternoon kicking back like a fat rat on a hot Thursday afternoon. As a matter of fact, that's all you can do is kick back like a fat rat on a hot Thursday afternoon. So glad you joined me today. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm here every Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. and it's getting exciting. Woo! Yeah, it's getting exciting. It's getting that time of the year, and of course, football season's right around the corner. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Baseball, we're going to go in hard on the All-Star Game. Let's stop this fakeness about baseball. We're going to get ready for that. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the Espys. I did not watch the Espys, nor do I watch the Espys. Let me just be clear with you. I am not an ESPN disciple. Okay, so I'm going to go in hard on the Espys tonight. And matter of fact, that's going to be my Thursday evening rant. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's going to happen about 5:40, 5:45 this afternoon. So check that out. I hope you'll stick and stay for that. Also coming up, we'll talk to Greg Pogue. I believe it's about 5:25. A lot of people are on vacation. We will not talk to Tim Swift today. We usually get him about 6:10. We're going to try to get Larry Ridley around somewhere in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll keep you posted on that. Larry Ridley is our NBA analyst, and of course, a lot of things have been happening in the NBA. It's kind of weird with the NBA. For the first time in such a long time, people are paying attention to the NBA Summer League. What? That tells you, man, the league is definitely, the association, as they like to say, is definitely getting very popular. Oh, by the way, you can go out to dynamicpowerpages.com and just click on the logo. We are streaming live, so you can check us out. That's right, check me out live. You can see how I look. Don't send me in a flirt or anything, all right? Just let me know. All right. But it is live. You can also catch me on Facebook. I'm there, David W. Coleman. And, I'm all around. So those are just a couple of things that we got on the agenda. We'll certainly talk about, I know this is Cowboy fan territory. We'll certainly talk a little bit about them signing Dez Bryant. And, of course, Demaryius Thomas signed for Denver. We'll get into that. Jason Pierre-Paul still isn't signed. Well, he's missing one finger. The NFLPA and Tom Brady, we'll get into that a little bit. The Open Championship is afoot. They're in the clubhouse for the day. It started like at 4 a.m. in the morning. Actually, that was pretty neat to get up that morning. We'll get you an update on where those guys stand. We'll talk a little bit about Ronda Rousey throwing some shade on Floyd Mayweather. That was pretty interesting. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up as far as my dynamic power picks. No picks today, but they will be coming later on. So it's a lot on the agenda today. Okay? So you can call me as well, 501-433-0088. The fact that we won't have Tim Swift today, that means that we'll have a lot of room for conversation. So call me up. Let's talk sports. We're getting to that time of the year. Many of you should have a lot to say, and hopefully you do, and hopefully you can share it with me, and we'll do a little repartee back and forth and see how things go. How about that? So that's going to wrap it up for right now. But tell you what, let's go ahead and think about this. I think we'll go ahead and take our next break here, our first break of the show, and then when we come back, we'll get into some of the conversation as it relates to what's going on. So you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on KABF 88.3 FM.
interactive web page for your business, and we advertise nationally. So we send our subscribers to you from all over the country. Already got a website? That's no problem. You can use your Power Page as a portal to your own business website. Dynamic Power Pages is a growing national.
Hey, Kendra, how you doing? Hey, can I call you back in about, it's going to be later tonight or tomorrow. I'm actually doing my radio show, plus I'm doing an old school show until about 8:30. So if I can call you after that, but just hang on, I got something for you. And I think you'd be perfect for it, okay?
Remember, it's not a party, it's a purpose. That's
okay.
DynamicPowerPages.com.
Okay, or I'll tell you what. Just call me whenever you get done. It doesn't matter how late it is. Just call me. Okay? If that's okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you just started the process. That food that didn't even taste good. Somebody needs to teach Alzheimer's family how to barbecue. Did you see them folks go with dynamic rip roll like I told you?
Yes, Grandpa. I do. That was the only way to do it.
Hey, man. What? You ever tried Coleman's dynamic rip roll? It's ready for meats, everything that's nice. Let your fingers do the wrong. And log on to riproll.com. That's RIPRUC.com. Then let your mouth. My name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with a Father's Family Affair, we launched the 110 Scholarship Campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to thefathersfamilyaffair.com now. Make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift to $10. Make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 can make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his him and his family. Please give to the 110 Scholarship Campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation at fathersfamilyaffair.com. Projects is the greatest that we've seen this generation. You have to be careful when you start saying, because when he went to his mind, when he went to his man, every generation get me. You begin to sound like that old man that lives down the street, and every time you walk on his yard, and you walk by his yard, he's on the floor, you got that little room, and he's like, get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! He Saturday mornings at 9 for the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Jordan Radio.
Yeah. Dynamic Dave in the house. Thursday afternoon. They want to tell people, by the way, tonight, doing something I like doing. I'm sitting in for a throwback Thursday, but yeah, I got some good stuff for you. Stick around. That show starts about 7 p.m. Well, 11:05. We're going to be playing stuff like this. Come on, Luther. But right now, we're talking sports. But like that later on, and of course, great bumper music. Of course, I play the best bumper music in the South. So stick and say, don't go away. Get some more good stuff coming up for you later on. A lot of stuff to talk about today as well. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Where do we start? We'll get our good buddy Greg Hope. Let's see. Where do we start? Well, why don't we just start here? Tiger Woods, as it relates right now, is 4 over in the ship. Jordan Spieth is, I think he's 4 under. He's 2 shots off pace as it relates to in second place right now in the first day. They're expecting that and the reason I bring up Jordan Spieth is because he's trying to make a run to sweep all the major tournaments. So if he wins the Open, then just one more to go after that. So we'll see how that goes. Pretty interesting to see if that can be done. And certainly could be the second coming of Tiger Woods. Young guy, was he 21, 22 years old, taking the golf world by storm. Just dominating all the tournaments that he's been playing in. So we'll keep an eye on that. But this is just the first day in the British Open as well. SEC Media Day, certainly we want to talk about that a little bit. We'll get into it a little bit more as the show goes on. We'll at least talk more about it, but just let me give you some predictions of the writers. In the SEC East, they are expecting, it's like this: Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, South Carolina, Florida, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. In the West, they have Alabama, Auburn, LSU, LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State. What's curious about this, we'll hopefully talk to Greg in a little bit about this poll, is that they've got Auburn winning the SEC. Okay, so they've got Alabama winning the West, but Auburn's winning the SEC. They gave Auburn 96 votes, Alabama 80 votes, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Arkansas 5th. They got 3 votes at least to win the SEC. Texas A&M and Tennessee tied for 7th, Mississippi State at 4th. One of the other curious things about it is the fact that Mississippi State has probably the most experienced quarterback coming back, and they're voted 7th. And we know you've got to have experience at quarterback to win anything in the SEC. Run the ball, play defense, and experienced quarterback. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, and certainly I'll make my picks. The Dynamic Power Picks will make its debut the weekend before October 1st. Okay, and let me just give you a date on what that is, and hopefully we'll get Cheerleader Girl on. So it'll make July 30th. So that's when we'll start thinking about making picks for the season and so on and so on. Okay. Oh, I want to remind people that on Saturday morning, you can catch me on joynetradio.com. That is internet radio, but it also has an app that you can download and check out my Saturday morning edition. We are expanding to 2 hours on that show as well. It'll begin on August 1st, where we'll be from 8 to 9. Perfect time to start talking football, college football. We expect to have Tim Swift on there on Saturday mornings as well. So it ought to be a fun show. So make sure you stay tuned and listen for the promos and things of that nature. And it is a call-in show as well. All right. We talked since we've been gone last weekend, Serena wins Wimbledon. We're going to get into a little bit about the newspaper outlets and some of the foreign correspondents basically trying to shame Serena. It's really appalling, and those of you who think racism is dead, just pay attention. It's all over the place. It rears its ugly head in all quarters now, and it's sad. But we'll talk about that. But congratulations to Serena for winning Wimbledon. She's on her way to doing a sweep for herself for all the majors this year. She just has the U.S. Open to go. So we'll get into that a little bit later on as well. And of course, the New York Times to write such a horrible article relating, or at least publish something like that related to how Serena looks. And it's really amazing to me. Now, Serena has a gorgeous body. I mean, she has the curves in all the right places. And I don't think it's a man on earth who wouldn't want that. Now, let me just be real. All right? There are some out there who dare to call Serena Williams ugly, but call Caitlyn Bruce Jenner beautiful. I'm just saying. Now, you may get mad at me, but there's a man dressing up as a woman is not beautiful to me. All right? A woman who's a woman who is stacked in all the right places, like Serena Williams, that's beautiful to me. I'm just saying. But this is a little pathetic of what's going on here as how people are treating Serena Williams, and to suggest that even I'm trying to think of the Republican operative who made the suggestion that Serena Williams is on steroids. These people do get tested. Now, let me be honest. I don't put it past any athlete, but until there has been any evidence whatsoever that any athlete has taken steroids, that should never come out of anyone. Period. Just period. But congratulations to Serena Williams. And of course, hopefully she will win the US Open later on this summer and complete. She's already completed the Serena Slam, and hopefully she'll complete the year slam where you win all 4 in 1 year. So congratulations to her. There was some money handed out in the NFL this week. Dez Bryant, 5 years, $70 million. A couple of days ago, Dez said, "Hey, look, I'm not coming into camp until I get my money. I need my money." So he's going to approximately about 20 million, 30 million guaranteed, somewhere in there. When you see that 70 million, he'll never see all of that. But what you look at NFL contracts is the guaranteed money. So similar deal, 5 years, 70 million. His is about they're almost identical deals. So good for both of those guys. Okay, so we'll hand it out a little money this weekend. So got a lot of other stuff to talk about. We'll get to as well. Definitely want to get to this thing with Ronda Rousey. I thought that was kind of interesting. And poor Floyd. I'm not a big fan of Floyd either, so I ain't mad at her. I am mad at the fact that she ends up getting Female Athlete of the Year, and over Serena Williams. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out here and pull up Ronda Rousey's record. Okay? All right, I'm going to do that here in just a moment. Because how can you give her female? Has she had over 10 fights in a B sport? Come on, folks. Back in a moment. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on KBF 88.3 FM.
Are you planning a holiday party? How will you do? Plus, buying traffic, grocery shopping, and the food preparation? Let Sweet Salt take care of all your holiday needs. Call me at 541-291. This is your holiday desires. I so much. Stop by location in the city market these days to do a great summer stay. Call me anytime at 501-291-9996 or check out website lookoutsweetsnow.com. Sweet Soul City Market out of Street there.
Hey friends, let me tell you how I discovered Coleman's Dynamic Rant and learned to bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah. I recently planned a family get-together, but by iterating, we had pounds of meat, but nothing for seasoning. Which comes in 2 great flavors, hot, spicy, and original city bubbly. Take it home, they logged on to restaurant.com and some great recipes. If you try Coleman's Dynamic Rant, I don't have to tell you where to get my ribs, chicken, or restaurant. If you haven't, what are you waiting on? Coleman's Dynamic Rant is not just grilling. You can find a convenient way to seal bags and tray up veggies and snacks. It's a dry here eggs, so add little or a lot, but make sure you add Coleman's Dynamic Rant to whatever you're cooking. And you too will say bacon, grill,
Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. I'm here every Thursday afternoon talking sports. Hey, let's get that time of the year. It's going to be fun. Some good stuff. Football season right around the corner. Hockey season right around the corner. So much to talk about. Hey, what's up, Greg? How you doing today, man? Man, how's the heat up there? Man, it's not playing down there. We're expecting 98 tomorrow. It would be nice, but apparently that's not going to happen. Okay. I wonder how hot it was in Hoover, Alabama for the SEC media days. Was any particular thing that jumps out to you as far as what you heard as it relates to media days this year? Yeah, that's interesting. The other thing about that, when you're talking about finishing last, of all of those teams in the West, the most experienced quarterback is at Mississippi State. And of course, you've got to have a good quarterback. You got to run the ball and play defense. Basically, is what Mississippi State does, and they got them finishing seventh in the West. Well, and when you say that, though, their problem is they still can't figure out the quarterback position themselves. Always have great talent, always run the ball, great defensive players, but again, they can't figure out what's going on under center. You talk about peculiarities in the media picks. When you look at them, they've got Georgia to finish first in the East, then Tennessee. Then in the West, they've got Alabama and Auburn, but the SEC champion, they've got Auburn as the number one pick. Go figure here. Missouri. Well, exactly, and that's amazing to me as well. And You say Matty Mark, he hadn't really lit it up, but at least he brings some more experience. He's a junior this year, I believe, right? So that's even because remember he played a lot when he was a freshman due to the guy ahead of him that was injured. So this guy brings some experience, and if he can keep his head on straight and stop throwing to the other players, other team, I agree with you. I don't see how you can disrespect Missouri the way they've come into the West because I mean the East. Yeah, they certainly are. And you mentioned just quickly just Vanderbilt. Talk a little bit about what's going on with Derek Mason. This is what his second year, uh, and he's already on the hot seat. Wait a minute. Say what you just said again. Say that last sentence again. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. All right. So, but let me ask you, how much was left in the cupboard for Mason? I agree with you, and I think you're kind of reading my mind because that's my point. Is that number one? We know Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is not like the regular SEC school, so you're not going to reload every 2 years and continually win 9 games a year. And the fact that you made so eloquently about the fact that the SEC East is down, so yeah, you're going to get some wins that you normally in the past few years you never got. So for you to say yeah, maybe they didn't look like they knew what they were doing last year, but to say that okay, after the 2 years that we're going to just change coaches, I mean, it'll take you another 4 years to get back where you may want to be, given those other teams opportunities to catch back up. It's crazy. Yeah, and headed back. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Mariota. Of course, the Titans have said, hey, look, we want that special writing in the contract, just basically saying, Steve Underwood saying, shut up and sign. What are your thoughts? Yep. Yeah, and the thing is that if that's been, is that standard procedure in all contracts, at least from the Titans' perspective, from what I've read and understood, I don't see why Mariota's group wants to come in now and change that. I mean, just sign the contract and get it done. Exactly. That's an excellent point. I haven't looked at it from that point. One other quick point. Did you watch, and I kind of know the answer to this because I know you so well, but did you watch any of the Espy last night? What were your thoughts? That's any at all. Good for you. You're still there's an old saying, SOG, same old gritty. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get going on a minute. Mhm. Oh, cool, man. Hey, good for you. But just remember those mornings when we had barbecue shrimp in New Orleans. Well, thank you for that. And certainly you got to get me on the show, man. That's cool. I'm proud of you, of course. Of course, my Saturday. I got you covered. Just trust me. I got you covered. Hey, and I got it. It'll be a nice package for you. But one other quick thing here. My Saturday show is expanding to 2 hours beginning August 1st. Uh, wow. Now, what are you on Saturday mornings? What time? Okay. Great. Wow. Wow. That means you're gonna wear one of those little fancy suits and stuff. Have, gee, thanks. You're turning into a metrosexual. See, only people who listen to our show we get that joke. But hey, it's great to rip it and say, man, I got to run. Great talking to you. We'll be in touch. Bye. That's my good buddy Greg Pope. He's on with us every week. And congratulations to him being back at WNSR in Nashville. All right, so we got to go out and take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to get into my little rant this morning, this afternoon. It's the Thursday afternoon rant right here on KABF 88.3 FM. All right. All right. All right. That's right. Thursday afternoon throwback or Thursday evening throwback hasn't started as of yet, featuring Don Fleming, but Don Fleming isn't here today, so it'll be me from 7 to 8:30. So stick and stay for that. Gonna get a little funk, just like this here. A little function, because we have a little fun. You can stream the show at dynamicpowerpages.com. Go out there and click on the logo. I'm right there. You'll see me. Now, don't try to follow me because it's like a 7-second delay. But I am out there, and I hope the stream is okay. So, every Thursday about this time, and we've kind of been doing this now for about a month, we do what is called the Dynamic Weekly Rant. And sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's quasi-political, but most of the time I like to believe that it's on point. So let me first start off by saying I am not a huge fan of ESPN. As a matter of fact, I have not been a big fan of ESPN for, I would probably say about 15 years, and had some personal dealings with them, and certainly doing the radio, and was affiliate at one point with ESPN, and there were some dirty, underhanded things done to the station that I was affiliated with by ESPN. So I'm gonna, and this is full disclosure, I'm not a big fan of theirs. But even more so, I became less of a fan when they were purchased by Disney. And here's the reason why. One thing about sports, the soap operas and sports. Women had their soap operas, men had their sports. So we didn't have to listen to the noise, the mess that went on in, some of those other programs. They always go and disappear into sports. And then Disney bought ABC and ESPN, and our sports went to hell in a handbasket. I'm just going to be honest with you. The soppy stories, the soppy special interest stories that have no place on a sports channel has ruined ESPN. Furthermore, the conversation and the opinions that goes into just regular sports is beyond me. When I want my scores, I don't want your opinions, I want the scores. Just the facts, Jack. That's how I was taught to do radio. But ESPN has to interject all of these little comments and and their editorializing that has gotten to the point where it's just noise to me. So years ago, they came up with the Espys. And the Espys was designed, it was an ESPN creation. And if you go out to any of the sports websites, you see nothing about the Espys, because it's not a sports event that is embraced by like the Associated Press or CBS Sports or NBC Sports. It is created specifically and was created specifically by ESPN. And who are they to decide who is the best? Now that brings me to a couple of points. And this rant may go on through the top of the hour, but I need to say what I need to say. And if you've been listening to this show, you know that I say what I need to say. Okay? So don't be shocked. So ESPN created the Espy. So this is a group of ESPN writers, all the people affiliated with ESPN, and certainly the top executives at Disney and ABC, who decides who gets what award. None of the other sports writers in the country have anything to do with this that I'm aware of. This is an ESPN program. All right, that's fine. But don't tell me I have to agree with everything you do. And there are two things I certainly don't agree with. And then the first one is not giving Serena Williams Athlete of the Year. How is it that Serena Williams is not the female Athlete of the Year? Oh, they gave it to Ronda Rousey. Well, here's Ronda Rousey's record. By the way, she participates in a B sport, by the way, that has been purchased by ESPN, or at least got their claws in it, that they are really, really pushing it now. It's a B sport. I'm sorry, I get no thrill out of watching people beat each other to a pulp. That's just me. I know there are a lot of people that do, but I get no thrill out of that. Okay, this is like the American Ninja. Have you seen that show where the guys are going through the obstacle course? I respect that show more than I respect MMA right now. But guess what? MMA has a contract with ESPN. American Ninja does not. It's a B sport. And she's only had 11 fights. 11 fights in her short career. Serena is about to make the yearly Grand Slam if she wins the New York Open. For the last 10 years, Serena Williams has been carrying women's sport. In my opinion, Serena Williams is the Athlete of the Year. Period. Man and woman. but you give it to Ronda Rousey because you have your claws in MMA and you want MMA to get recognized so people will start watching more of it? Give me a break. What a joke. More importantly, you then give the Courage Award to Caitlyn Bruce Jenner. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not politically correct. But what courage is it to let me know that you like to dress up like a woman? It's not courage to me. Look, I wouldn't even know. I'm sure I pass transgender people all the time in my travels. I wouldn't even know if they're transgender because you know what? I don't care. So why do you have to try to make me care, ESPN? And there are rumors now that have come out that ESPN, in concert with, apparently there's going to be a reality TV show with about Caitlyn Bruce Jenner. And according to reports, it hasn't been verified, that the PR people for that show bargained with ESPN that if they would give Caitlyn Jenner this award, then they would get basically free airing of ESPN commercials on that show. Now, if this can be verified, this tells you a lot about ESPN. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if it occurred or not. But we'll see as things go along. But it would not surprise me because ESPN has no credibility. None whatsoever. The commentary, none of it. And here's the thing, when you talk a fact about some of the people they're in bed with, we've seen Keith Olbermann fired numerous times. And part of it was, and by the way, his contract is not about to expire in, I think, at the end of July. He won't be back. Colin Cowherd is leaving and going to Fox. We've seen this over and over again, that when you talk about facts as related to the NBA and the NFL, you get pressure from the higher ups, and most of the time you end up losing your job. It's not sports anymore, and it's not a sports channel anymore. And the only thing that I watch ESPN for are direct games. My information, I go to CBS Sports, I go to alternative news sources, sports sources, but I do not go to ESPN. Because to try to shove Caitlyn Jenner in my face and make me say, oh, she had courage. Now, wait a minute. Here's the guy, and they're trying to pretend like that there wasn't a second place. So Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner, if we call her Caitlyn Jenner, if we accept that she's a female, then that wasn't the person that won the decathlon in the Olympics. See how stupid that is? You can't separate the two. But the fact that that happened in 1976, she's not even a competing athlete anymore. How could you? Of Galloway, who was an athlete, who also was a war hero, who lost a leg and an arm. Who's more deserving? Huh? And then there's some of you out there who has the unmitigated gall to juxtapose Caitlyn Jenner and Serena Williams and tell me that Caitlyn Jenner is beautiful and Serena Williams is ugly. What the hell world are we living in? This is bizarro world, folks. The point I'm making here is that stop allowing ESPN to lead you around by your nose. And no, I'm not expecting to ever get a job at ESPN ever again. But the point I'm making is that they are despicable. Give me my sports, my highlights. Don't give me all of this shoving this agenda in my face and expect me to accept it on my sports channel. I get it on all the other channels. There are plenty of news channels out there. There are plenty of commentary channels out there. If I want that crap, I will go to those channels. But this is how I get away, avoid that crap, that brainwashing stuff. So when there's the game on, I watch the game. And even if those announcers get too soppy, I turn them down. And I've gotten to the point now, you know, a DVR is a wonderful creation because now I record the game 30 minutes. I start watching the game 30 minutes after it begins. Recording on time, watching the game 30 minutes later. It's kind of like a 30-minute delay. So I sit there with my remote control, and when they get into them stupid commercials, when they get into that stupid commentary, I hit fast forward. You should try it. It's wonderful. And I do that on all channels. In fact, I'm gotten to the point where I do that with even programs that I watch. Don't want to hear that stuff. So what are your thoughts? I'm curious. I know there are going to be some people that's going to say, oh, well, I'm just homophobic. No, I'm not. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. The Supreme Court ruling doesn't bother me one way or the other. I think what bothers a lot of people is, again, an agenda trying to be forced down your throats when most people don't care. We don't care what you do in your bedroom. That's just the bottom line on that. So you can call me homophobic if you want. I'm not. Got plenty of gay and lesbian friends. Love them a lot. But some things you just go too far. And this ESPN thing with Caitlyn Jenner has went too far. And I think a lot of people have had enough of it. And like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting to see if, in fact, this award was basically bought and paid for by their Caitlyn Jenner's PR program. Let's keep your eye on that. Don't know if it was or wasn't, but the suggestion is at least there's rumors that are coming out there. But anyway, part of the reason I don't watch ESPN and part of the reason I don't watch the Espys because they are a joke. And so is ESPN. But anyway, gotta go. Top of the hour, 6 o'clock hour coming up. Next hour, we hope to talk to Larry Ridley. Tim Swift is on vacation. I hope he's enjoying himself. We'll get back to him next week. But you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on KABF 88.3 FM.
This is KABF 88.3 FM in Milwaukee. Voice of
KABF.
For all of Microsoft.
Okay. Well, that is
Wade Rapp, the chief organizer report on the history of break the work. We're writing an interesting piece in the current issue of social policy that looks at the historical antecedents of break the work.
That's how I answer it. No chase.
In places like Indiana and Michigan. Dan Kaufman, writing in the New York Times
All right,
magazine a couple of weeks ago about a piece largely about Wisconsin called State of the Union, actually gave a good historical snapshot of the real roots of this ongoing movement against workers and their unions in Texas, Arkansas, and the South. In 1941, the labor movement was still ascending. William Ruggles, 40-year-old editorial writer for the Dallas Morning News, coined the slogan "Right to Work." Ruggles was alarmed by the growing strength of the labor movement, which indicated was intent on forcing on. He proposed a constitutional amendment that would prohibit workers from having to pay dues to a union or to hold a job in a union shop. If the country does not want it, let us say so, he wrote. If we do want it, adopt it and maintain forever the right to work of every American. The day after the editorial was printed, a Houston political activist named Vance Muse called Ruggles to ask permission for his organization, the Christian American Association, to pursue the proposal. Ruggles agreed and suggested to Muse that he called it a right to work amendment. Muse, in about racism from the U.S. Senate Committee in 1936, I am a Southerner and for white supremacy, held a special animus towards unions which he believed fostered race mixing and Southern exposure. 46 book about racism in the South, the muckraking journalist Stetson Kennedy quoted Muse's pitch on the need for right to work, in which he said, white women and white men will be forced into organizations with black African apes, and they will have to call brother or lose their jobs. But Muse was in that fundraising racer. He received support from General Motors and the DuPont family, among others, and lobbyists. In 1944, the Christian American Association sponsored the amendment that made Arkansas one of the country's first right-to-work states. In 1947, 10 more states, most of them in the South, had become right-to-work, embodying a growing national backlash against labor brought on by the Red Scare. That same year, over President Harry Truman's veto, Congress passed the Taft-Hartley Act, which undercut the Wagner Act by placing numerous restrictions on unions. Among them, a clause granting states the power to become right-to-work. Hughes died in 1950, but his campaign had already been taken over by more mainstream proponents. Make no mistake, when you're hearing about right-to-work for less legislation from South, history is clear. They hated unions and the prospect of workers organizing, but their hate was broad and instrumental, and their hate and fear of integration of any kind or equality between the races was only seen through the black-colored lens of Southern races. This Civil War is more recent, but the roots seem much the same. This is Wade Bradley. For questions or comments, www.chieforganizer.org. You take it from here to there.
I'm Crystal Mercer, and I listen to the Weekly Sports Dynamic David Cole.
Hour number 2.
Oh, your mama.
Oh, wow.
It's time for the weekly sports page with Dynamic David Coleman. Stay tuned for thrills, chills, and yes, feels.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, and a whole lot of other great stuff. Call 501-433-0088. Tweet your questions at Dynamic Sports PA on Facebook. Drop a line on Dynamic Weekly Sports Show. Sit back, relax, and groove while Dynamic drops sports in your ear hole. Now here's Dynamic David Coleman.
Get him up, get him up, get him up, get him up. Party over here ain't nothing over there. I'm Dynamic Dave. I'm here every Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. Hey, had a couple of calls on the break. Enjoyed the rant. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, you know, I like to say I bring it straight with no chasing. You know how those things roll. Appreciate all the comments. I'm trying to make anybody mad. I just got to say what I got to say, right? Your rights end where mine begin, okay? That's one thing you need to remember when you talk about it's my right. Well, you're not the only one that has rights in this country. You try to push your agenda on my sports channel, in my sports, that ticks me off. Push your agenda. If I don't want to see it, I ought to be able to go somewhere and look at it. Somewhere else. I don't need to see it on your sports channel. And ESPN is a piece of garbage. And it's unfortunate that they own so much of the sports rights now that you have to go through that crap. They've ruined sports. And maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy. But then maybe again I'm not. You're listening to the weekly sports page. I'm here every Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. If you want to talk to me, we can talk online right now. We're not expecting to guest for another 20 minutes. Tim Swift is on vacation. He usually comes up about 6:05, and we talk to him. Now he's going to be our fantasy sports guru throughout the summer and throughout the, well, I should say, throughout the fall. We're looking forward to it more so this year because we get a chance to start at the beginning of football season. We got to start the show in late October of last year. So we were behind the 8 ball when it came to sports all year long as it related to football. Not this year. Also, you're getting a double whammy because on Saturday mornings, if you are, and you can download this app, joinnetradio.com. It's an internet sports show, and I'm going to tell you, very nice. Download that app and check out the show. It's a gospel station, but we do sports and a lot of other things. So it's just not gospel, but it's pretty unique. But every Saturday morning, beginning August 1st from 8 to 10, I will be on the air. But right now, you can catch me at Joint Net Radio from 9 to 10. So be sure to check that out. If you're online, you can go out and check it out. Go to dynamicpowerpages.com. I'm waving at those of you who are out there already. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we try to stream the show every week. I understand there's a stream coming from KBF as well. I hadn't figured out what that is, but there's supposed to be a stream. But the camera's behind me for the KBF stream, so you can't even see my gorgeous face, but you can if you go out to Dynamic Power Pages. Because bam, I'm right there. How about that? I want to remind people coming up at 7 o'clock, Throwback Thursdays with Don Fleming will be featuring yours truly. Don is out this week, so got a chance to do this about a month ago. He asked me would I sit in for him this week. I got a lot of neat stuff that I'm going to jam for you. I've got some, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at the playlist right now, so I'm prepping as I talk to you. No, I'm just lying. I'm trying to make myself sound important. Wow. I hope you like my rant. I'm still ticked about the Serena thing. I'm ticked about Caitlyn Jenner because I'm so sick of this crap. And I mean, you know, given Ronda Rousey, Female Athlete of the Year, just boggles my mind. She's not really even in a real sport. Now, I know that probably ticks you MMA people off. And then first thing, and I love those guys who say, man, I bet she could kick your tail. That ain't the point. She probably could. I'm an old guy. I'm 54 years old. Yeah, she could kick my tail. And why would I be fighting her anyway? So that when you talk to people like that, that just tells you where their mindset is. She's won 11 fights in a B sport, as opposed to Serena Williams, who just won Wimbledon and is on the way to have the Grand Slam completed for the year. Hasn't been done since 1988. And unless there's a catastrophe, it's going to happen. How could you not say Serena Williams is the Female Athlete of the Year? This is bizarro world. It's agenda world. Everybody has their own little agenda on what they want, and the facts just don't come up anymore. There's an old saying we used to use in the radio business: don't let facts get in the way of a good story. And that's what's happening in sports now. That's this whole Ronda Rousey thing. Oh, it's a good story. Plus, we're pushing. We bought some of the time for MMA. We run MMA on our station. Oh yeah. So yeah, let's secretly push MMA by giving Ronda Rousey, someone who has fought 11 times. Who can you name one person this woman has beaten? No, because no one gives a damn about women MMA. Who cares that you're seeing women tear people apart? I don't care about MMA. I don't understand this fascination of watching people fight one another and beat them to a pulp. You said, well, you like boxing. Well, boxing seems to have safeguards. Now, certainly there have been some tragedy happen in boxing, but at least they seem to have some safeguards, although they do have their faults too. I'm a little sick of boxing too. But the point I'm making is that Serena Williams is the best athlete. Think about it. Think about all the people that won those awards that were athletic awards, not the things like, you know, comeback and stuff like that. But people like Aaron Rodgers. Think about all those the women's soccer team. You know, all of those, most of those awards were team awards. Of course, they gave Serena the best tennis player. Well, who the hell else you gonna give it to? She's the best female athlete, period. Oh, God. All right. Let me try to move on. I'm upset. I hope you all are getting my point. Please. I sincerely hope. All right. But anyway, we got to go and take another break. You're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine on KBF 88.3 FM.
much money would you be willing to give? 50, 100, $500 maybe? How about just $10? Hi, my name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with a Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 can make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 could make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax deductible donation at afathersfamilyaffair.com right now.
If you're looking for a place to hold a special birthday or anniversary celebration, graduation party, or wedding reception, or even if you're looking just to have an intimate
Commercial sound good. I redid a lot of it.
Lady K's Place. Lady K's Place is the perfect place to hold your event. Located 303 Village Road in North Little Rock in Rose City. For more information and a tour, call 501-765-8481. That's 501-765-8481. Lady K's Place.
Round ball check, hard ball check, pocket ball check, burning rubber check. We got it all on the biggest sports page. Ready? Open. What else do you do? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is it? Sports show. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do have it all. And a whole lot more with me, Dynamic Rant, on the weekly sports magazine.
I run my whole show by tablet. Everything I do is loaded from my tablet, which is cool. I've set up my commercials a little bit different. Well, the show is finally running a little bit smoother than I normally do, so I'm pretty excited about that. So it's getting better. Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Normally at this time when you get Tim Swift, he's our fantasy sports guru. But he's on vacation, so I hope he's enjoying himself. I hope he went somewhere cool. But of course, everybody goes down to the Redneck Riviera, which is usually South Beach in that area. Not South Beach, but south of Mississippi and Alabama, which is pretty nice down there. Pensacola area, I've been down there. It's really, really nice. It's just this time of the year is probably insufferable. By the way, coming up about 7 o'clock, it's going to be Throwback Thursdays featuring yours truly, Dave Coleman. Don Fleming is not here tonight. We got some good stuff coming up for you. Stuff like we got some old Jesse Johnson, some Paul Hardcastle, little Frankie Beverly and Mays, no doubt about that. Some JB, some Minnie Rippleton, some Morgan Function, some Gap Band, all kinds of things. A little Lakeside. I'm just going down the list. I might even throw a little jazz at you as well. A little London interlude with Lonnie Liston Smith is one of my favorites. Of course, Rufus Speakman, Shaka Khan, Atlantic Star, George Benson, Jody Watley, man, y'all better stick and stay. We gonna party up in here. Somebody want to bring me a bottle of champagne? We'll kick it and do it old school style. Just kidding, MCC. Y'all can sound like that a lot of fun. I appreciate you joining me. You can call me up 501-432-0088. That's how you get in touch with me. I do want to remind people that my the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship program is still going on. You can go out to my website or go to a Father's Family Affair. That's better. Go to that website and click on the logo to the right and just donate $10. We're trying to raise some money to keep a young father in college. We got to get him that degree. You know it's tough. In all likelihood, he's paying child support. He's getting beat up. So we want to let him know that we've got his back. Because after all, if he gets that degree, then that's going to better his family and it's going to better his children. So we got to get behind fathers just like we are behind mothers, because we got to pull each other along. You can't pull moms along and just leave fathers out there to fend for themselves. That hasn't worked. Throwing them up, throwing them in jail, taking away their driver's license, their business license, that doesn't work. You got to do a better job. So you'll be hearing more about that. It's just $10. The 10 for the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship program. Go to fathersfamilyaffair.com to make a donation. And I hope you. All right. You'll be hearing more about that going forward. I promise you. I promise you. Okay. Speaking of Ronda Rousey, did you see how she threw a little shade? What we're going to do as well. We're going to try to, well, in the next break, we're expected to get Ronald Larry Ridley. Hopefully we will, but if not, we're going to play some sound from the SEC Media Days with Jonathan Williams. Of course, Brad Bielema. He made some interesting comments about conduct, which I thought was right on point as well. I love that comment about it. If you're recruiting a kid and you can't sleep on Friday and Saturday night, then that's probably not the kid you want to recruit. So I hope that's a cautionary tale for some of these young people out there. So, but hopefully we're planning to get Larry Ridley about 6:25. But if not, we will definitely get some SEC sound from SEC Media Days. If you hadn't been paying attention, SEC picks are out. The media days are over. There's lots of sound out there that you can catch. Here are the picks from the media, and most of the time they're wrong. But in the SEC East, we'll go through the whole list. You got Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, South Carolina, Florida, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. Don't really see that, but of course, my dynamic power picks are coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll let you know about all of that and give you some picks. And of course, Chili the girl will be here, and we'll talk to her about her picks as well. In the SEC West, we've got Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State. Now, the votes to win the SEC championship, which is a bit peculiar. These are just people who think that this is how this will happen. Auburn gets 96 votes, Alabama 80, Georgia gets 28, LSU gets 9, Ole Miss gets 3, Arkansas gets 3. Both of them are tied for 5th. A&M and Tennessee gets 2, and Mississippi State and Florida gets 1. I got a feeling Florida is going to be a lot better than what people are surmising. No doubt about that. But right now with the SEC West being down, you don't know what's going to happen with South Carolina, Florida. Kentucky. Those last two games, Kentucky and Vanderbilt, probably walkovers for a lot of teams. Can't discount Missouri. Certainly they've got experience coming back at quarterback, and that's where you really start. Look at quarterback and look at defenders. How many defensive players do they have come back? Now that means guys who got some legitimate time. By the way, I've got my Field Steel college football book. I'm gonna be honest with you folks. Just drop you a line, drop you a hint. All those other college football books are out there, but I'm gonna tell you, Field Steel college football book is the best book out there. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be trying to get Field Steel on the show here the next week or so. In fact, we're gonna try to target that for next week. So, looking forward to that. All right. So, and usually when we get Phil Steele on, we also get some of the. He sends us magazines, so we'll see how that looks. We'll get him on here, but he has the best magazine out there. So that's what the writers think for the SEC. You'll start getting other media days around the country, but the SEC media days are the biggest in the country. Of course, the perception is that it's the best football. There are a lot of great clips on the SEC Sports Network that you can check out. SEC Sports, their website, and we'll be playing some clips from that here coming up as well. So I'll tell you what, let's do here. Let's go ahead and take another break. We're going to try to go ahead and get Larry Ridley on, at least send out the bat signal to say he's up. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and try to get some other things on and get this SEC thing. How about that? Okay. So you're listening to the weekly sports magazine on KABF 88.3 FM.
Just $10. My name is David W. Coleman, and in conjunction with a Father's Family Affair, we've launched the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign. We need 100 people to donate $10 to assist a young father with college tuition. Just $10. Go to afathersfamilyaffair.com now to make a tax-deductible donation. Your small tax-deductible gift of $10 can make the difference in a young father furthering his education as opposed to a minimum wage job. Your $10 can make the difference in a young father dropping out or completing his degree for him and his family. Please give to the 100 for 10 to 1K scholarship campaign today. It's just $10. Make that tax-deductible donation as a father's family.
Hello. Can you do the show? All right, call me back right now. We can jump in and get on right after the break. Hello? Hey baby, maybe I could walk you home. Man, I don't want to think about my school board pressers back in the day. They were with some of my teachers. I had some fine teachers. Hey, I don't care. Y'all, so yeah. I had some cuties. I don't know what y'all talking about. Young lad growing up, them pretty women. Hey. I'm Dave Coleman, and you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Let's go out to the phones and talk to my good buddy Larry Ridley. Larry, what's up, man? Hey, I'm doing fantastic, man. I know you can only give me a few minutes, so let's jump right in it. Let's talk about this fiasco as it relates to the Dallas Mavericks. and DeAndre Jordan. What are your thoughts? Yeah, that's true. And you talk about getting extra money, and we'll get to that there in a moment when we talk about David West. But when you look at it, and I don't know why you're giving DeAndre Jordan that kind of money when, in fact, this guy is barely 30% in free throw shooting. And I don't know why, if you're Mark Cuban, you would invest that kind of money in that type of guy because he's not a franchise player. He's although he's great defensively, but when it comes down to it, he's a liability on the court because he can't hit free throws. We've seen that over and over again. And I just don't understand why DeAndre Jordan would even consider making that jump to Dallas. Because are the rumors true that he wanted to be figured more in the offensive programming of the Clippers? What a joke. Wow. Sorry. The analytics. Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because in the NBA, this is a good time to be there because the salaries are going up for everybody. I guess as a player, if you're a player in the league, that's exciting, but certainly as a spectator and a reporter, you look at some of these dollars and say, why? Speaking of Orlando, update us a little bit on what's going on with the Orlando Magic. Larry, is this, and I'll let you go on this, but is this bizarro world that we're talking NBA and it's damn near the mid-July? And the other thing is, when was the last time, and I know we covered the sport, but just in passing, when was the last time that so many people were talking about the NBA Summer League? This is good for the league. Wow. Yeah, I love it as well. And by the way, Larry, I would sign a one-day contract with these numbers. Exactly. Just give me the jersey, dog. There you go. Hey, man, good stuff as always. We'll be in touch with you and have a great day, all right? All right, bye. That's our good buddy Larry Ridley. He's our NBA correspondent, knows the league, been around the league for quite some time. And it's a bizarro world. And we're talking NBA, serious NBA talk taking place. It's July 15th, and we're talking NBA. Is this crazy or what? It's crazy. But you're right. And the problem with Major League Baseball and hot stove, their off season is right smack dab in the middle of football season. And NFL is king. I don't care how good you are, it's terrible. You're not gonna. We're gonna talk about the All-Star Game coming up here in this after the next break. But I don't care how good you are, you're not gonna knock the NFL off of this perch. And then you throw in college football, you can forget about it. After the World Series, yeah, you'll report on the hot stove leagues and summer leagues, but no one really cares. Now, diehard baseball fans do, but most people are paying attention to college and pro football. Let's be realistic with that. There's some good stuff by Larry Ridley. Glad for him to be able to join us today. Hadn't been missing it. We hadn't had him on quite some time, so he's been a busy, busy person. By the way, if you got Madden, if you're going out to buy Madden, the new copy should be available this year, well, this month coming up. You'll hear Larry Ridley's voice on Madden as he does the statistics and halftime and some voiceover. So you'll hear him. And I meant to ask him, did they do a cartoon impersonation of him as well? So that ought to be fun. And of course, I'll make fun of him. And maybe I can get a couple of free copies of Madden giveaway as well right here on the station. So still a lot of stuff to talk about in the show today. And we're going to, like I said, coming up in the next 3 minutes after the next break, we are going to get into a little bit about the All-Star Game and this faux love for the All-Star Game, because that's exactly what it is. FAUX, fake love, faux love, because people, well, it means something. Well, that's even more absurd, and that's the point that I'm going to make here in just a few minutes on the All-Star Game. And I talked a little bit about Ronda Rousey and her throwing shade on Floyd Mayweather, and of course she wins the best fighter of the year, and she makes the comment on the red carpet. I wonder how Floyd Mayweather feels about getting beaten by a woman, and kind of cute, but I don't know. I don't know if I like this Ronda Rousey girl. And I'll be honest, I'm not an MMA person, but it was kind of cute. And of course, it's running rampant on the internet today as well. And of course, I don't blame her. I mean, look, Floyd Mayweather is an abuser, a woman or wife abuser. So, by the way, speaking of which, it's bizarro world. I'm telling you, Brittany Griner and her girlfriend or her, I don't know which one is the man, but you know they've gotten an annulment, and the girlfriend was pregnant, and apparently she got in vitro fertilization. See, this is why sports is so crazy. So they've broken up, and she's wanting Brittany Griner to be the well, she's it's going to be interesting as custody issues flow now. But anyway, she wants Brittany Griner to pay her $20,000 a month in child support. You want to be the man, you got to be the man. Let's see what you got to say about that. Crazy people out there. Okay, this is bizarro world, man. It's just bizarro. It is the Open Championship. But let me get you some scores on that. Well, we won't have time to. Well, let's see if I can get you some scores on the Open Championship real fast before we go to break, and then we'll go to break and we'll come back and talk a little bit about the All-Star game overall for the All-Star game, and I won't say my dislike for baseball, but my disdain for how baseball has evolved in America, and maybe they'll get better, but we'll see about that. So while that's loading, let's go ahead and go out and take a break. I guess I broke the internet, and then of course I am streaming, so maybe a little bit tight. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. You're listening to the weekly sports 3 FM. Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I'm Dynamic Dave. Just want to give you quick updates on what's going on with the Open Championship. By the way, coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going old school for about an hour and a half. Straight music. Not much coming back, relax and groove. Get your girlfriend, get off the wall. Let's party like it's 1999. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But here are the scores. A lot of people under par for the first day. They're saying that tomorrow the weather's going to kick up and it'll get interesting. So if you're already over par, you may be struggling to make the cut unless you have a great day. But here it is. We can get this thing working. All right, here we go. Dustin Johnson, he's obviously at 7 under. He's the leader. All of these next guys are at 6 under. Danny Willett, Zach Johnson, Justin Day, Paul Lowry, Retief Goosen, and Mark Stroud. All of them are at 6 under. 5 under, you got a host of guys as well. Jordan Norbruge, Kevin Na, Charles Schwartzel, Jordan Spieth at 5 under, 2 in off the pace. That's who people are watching. Louis Oosthuizen, he's at 5 under. This group is 4 under. Greg Owen, Matt Jones, Luke Donald, David Howell, Mark Warren, and Paul Dunn. Well, I'm sorry, Paul Dunn is at 3 under. So you got a whole lot of people up there in the top 10. All of that stuff will start falling out. As I mentioned earlier, Tiger Woods is way off the pace and may not even make a cut for the Open Championship. Last I checked, he was at 4 over par and just had a tough day. And if the weather's going to get worse tomorrow, then he may end up not making the cut, unfortunately. So there it goes. But it's showing some signs. Hopefully he'll be able to get back. Now, I want to talk about it in this segment, and as I mentioned last segment, I want to talk a little bit about the All-Star Game. And I know, and don't get me wrong, was a huge baseball fan growing up. I've said that over and over again, but baseball abandoned the inner city and decided that they wanted to pursue Caribbean players and not be concerned about those kids that were in urban America. And that's where baseball lost a lot of notoriety and a lot of following within the bigger cities. Now, certainly those cities that have teams, they are still making good money. They're having sellouts all over the country, but I think you miss out when you decide to ignore a part of the population. They tried to come back a little bit when they started the RBI program that's called Return Baseball to the Inner Cities, and of course they have these programs all over the country. It is my hope that this time next year that I will be coaching a little league team sponsored by my company, but we'll see. Don't want to put the cart before the horse, but that's something that I've been thinking about, and I'm going to try to get that done. With that being said, baseball still is lacking the leadership that it needs, and it started when they did this crazy All-Star Game. Now, you've heard me before. If you follow baseball fans, they are just crazy about statistics. They can tell you how many RBIs, and this, that, and other, and it's crazy. But when you look at baseball as a whole, when you look at the statistics, they're different at every part. So I don't understand that this love affair with baseball and statistics. A home run in Houston is different from a home run in Yankee Stadium. That's different from a home run in Boston. In Boston, that's different from a home run in Seattle, because all of the stadiums do not have the same dimensions. They're all different. So when you start telling me about who hit, you go and you look at the list of home runs. Many of those guys were hitting in ballparks that had short porches. Telling me some of the people that played in the 70s on the Big Red Machine, because that stadium was so deep. Think about how hard it was to hit out that stadium. Now you go to Yankee Stadium and the right field porch. Come on, it doesn't make any sense. Now, why am I saying all this? Because I think baseball is a great sport. Love it. But when you take an exhibition game and you make that determine where your home field advantage is for the World Series, your championship series, you are laughable. And I know there are these people out there who are hanging on to nostalgia and want the All-Star Game to mean something. I know there are people out there who want to see Pete Rose and Ray Foxy collision all over again. These guys are serious. It's an exhibition game, folks. And this day and time, because if it wasn't an exhibition game, Why don't they let the best pitchers, pitch more than 1.5 innings, 2 innings? It's an exhibition game. If it was so serious and it meant so much, why are they letting fans pick who the starters are? And more importantly, if that be true, and it is, why are they using an exhibition game picked by fans to determine who has home field advantage in the World Series? It's a gimmick, and I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how you try to explain it. I don't care, it makes the All-Star game great. No, it doesn't. It's still the same All-Star game. You think those guys really care? They're going through the motions just like these other All-Star games. All-Star games at the bottom line is obsolete. And to play 162 games. Now, I know it determines playoffs, but to play 162 games, and if you are the best team that season, and you win your league, your division, you win your league by 15, 20 games, the AL winner, they lose, you beat them by 15, 20 games, and they end up getting home field advantage. That's just not fair because of an exhibition game. That's just not fair. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I know it's been going on now, and this was all put together to try to make the All-Star game mean something to the players. Yeah, it means a little bit, and yeah, man, we beat y'all. We got on fit. But what about that player that doesn't? Do you really think? Let me ask you something. The last man on the roster. I'm sorry, I don't have the roster in front of me. But the last man on the roster of the AL, who is probably not gonna make the playoffs. Do you think he really gives a damn whether or not the AL wins home field advantage? Huh? Furthermore, on the NL squad, do you think the last man on the NL squad really gives a damn whether or not the NL wins home field? What are they doing? Are they huddling up and saying, hey man, this is for home field advantage for the #1 team, and you're on the last place team? Give me a break. You think he really, that guy on the last place team that got voted in because his team, he's the best player on the team? Do you really think he cares? Huh? That's just how absurd this is. And I know you sell out and you got all this merchandising and you do a lot of this pomp and circumstance, but at the end of the day, the All-Star game is a joke. And don't get me started on that horrible, 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 horrible home run championship. And no, I didn't watch either one. I'm not going to watch either one. It's just stupid. It's like the slam dunk contest. It's just stupid. Anyway, that's my rant on Major League Baseball. And I'm about to make y'all mad too. Our last break of the show. Back in a moment, you're listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine with Dynamic Rant on KBF. Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Magazine. I want to thank my good buddy Greg Polk for joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, and of course, he's our Fox correspondent and SEC guy, and of course, I want to thank not Tim Swift, but Larry Ridley for joining us from Orlando, Florida. He's our NBA correspondent. Tim Swift will be back with us next week. Want to remind people Saturday morning from 9 to 10 on Joynet Radio, you can catch the Weekly Sports Magazine, the Saturday edition. We're doing it Saturday morning, August 1st. We go live, so looking forward to that as well. Also, coming up at 7 o'clock, Thursday, with me, Dynamic Dave Coleman. That's right. I'll be hanging in for our good buddy Dunn Fleming, who's out of town. But we'll be kicking it and dropping it old school style, doing the funky worm, the bump, all of those, the prep, the hustle. We're going to do it all right here in the studio, so you stick and stay for that. We're going to have a fun time, no doubt about that. Look, I appreciate you joining me for the show this afternoon. I hope I said something to make you mad. I hope I've said something to make you do something. But most importantly, let's just enjoy sports. It's for our enjoyment, and certainly when we get all these politics and personal experiences involved into it, it kind of ruins it for everybody. And it certainly has done it for a lot of people out there who would agree with what I'm saying as well. But look, more British Open. Want to remind people in the morning at 4. So if you're like me, I did a radio show for 12 years, beginning at 6 a.m. So every morning I was up at 4:30. I was at the studio usually about 5:15. So quite often, that's how my schedule was for 12, 14 years. So then, now that I'm up, now that I'm here, I still kind of live that schedule. The body, my mind hadn't caught up with my body or vice versa. So I'll be up in the morning. I say all that to say I'll be up in the morning watching the Open. It ought to be fun, and it's pretty neat to catch the Open that early in the morning. And for me, because I don't want to hear all that sappy commentary, I usually turn the volume down. I can kind of figure out what's going on. He either missed the shot or he didn't. You know, and I can give me the wind speed and all that stuff. I can kind of check that out. Of course, I've played a lot of that particular hole or that course online, and it's amazing how close the simulations are. So you can sit there online with your iPad or your tablet, as I did this morning, and track each hole. It's pretty cool the way technology is today. Well, I've got to get out of here, but there's something I always like to tell you. Brilliant minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. Which do you possess? Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you on Saturday morning on joynetradio.com.
Thanks for listening to the Weekly Sports Magazine. Dynamic Rant is open. Tune in every Thursday afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m. See you next week.
Bye-bye.